The fight around the kid.
It's the fighter.
It's the fighter and the kid.
While I was at work one day in February 2009 doing a counter-terrorism exercise, I was in the water. Like you said, you can see the Harbour Bridge, you can see the Sydney Opera House, so this is a very popular spot. And we dive and work there all the time, so I'd swum and dive there thousands of times. And I was on the surface, on my back, with a very thin wetsuit on and a pair of fins, and while I was in the water, after probably only 4 or 5 minutes, a bull shark came up from underneath me, grabbed me by the back of the leg and the hand on my right side, all in one bite, and decided that I was breakfast, and just started tearing me to pieces.
And you didn't see it at all, right? It was
I
totally
didn't see
unexpected.
Yeah, I was looking the other direction, and I felt something hit me, and it didn't hurt at that point. So I turned around thinking the guys in the boat got a little bit too close, and then you turn around and you see your worst nightmare attached to you, and you kind of don't know what to do.
And did your natural reactions kick into fight? Because obviously, I mean, you're a tough guy, Navy SEAL basically of Australia. So your natural reactions to fight, I assume.
Yeah, after a second of going, is this real life? You think, okay, I've seen the crocodile hunter, I'll jab it in the eyeball.
Yeah.
But it had my hand in its mouth, so I couldn't use it. So I tried to do it with my left hand, but I couldn't reach. I tried to punch it in the head. That didn't work. I think I just pissed it off, and then it started shaking me like sharks do, took me underwater, kept shaking me. When a bull shark grabs something, it uses its top teeth first to grab on, and then the jaw is actually movable. So when they shake, the teeth act together as a saw.
Oh, that's nice.
So while it was shaking me, it's sawing the flesh out of my body.
Yeah.
It's a shit day at work. Yeah.
It's a shit day at work.
It's a shit day. That's an understatement.
It's a shit day.
But like on you see these shark experts are like, yeah, you see a shark, man, you just punch the thing. You just punch in the nose.
That's
you
my
tag its
favorite
eye.
thing.
Oh yeah, it's that easy.
Yeah, tried that one. Didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Because everything tries to do that to him, and he has protectors over his eyes, or his eyeballs are hard as shit like marbles, and it does not phase
It's also
him.
probably 1,000 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah. This thing was 9 foot. I'm 6 foot, so it's got 3 foot of muscle on me, and they're huge. They're so strong, designed to swim around in the water, just a body of muscle. And when they grab you and they start shaking, you realize how useless and powerless you actually are.
Yeah, it's killing you with its face.
You realize man really isn't shit in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, we have guns and technology, but if it comes down to it, Mother Nature, sharks, bears, you're screwed.
There was a conservationist at Yellowstone who said, look, this is not a park, a theme park. There are elements in this park that don't give two shits if you live or die. You've just got to understand how to navigate. But when I was watching some of your stuff, they don't really tell you what to do, and maybe there is nothing to do when a giant marine mammal or animal grabs you.
I watched all his interviews, and they're like, so if I'm getting attacked by a shark, what should I do?
No blueprint.
You fucking idiots. Nothing. You're in his land.
Yeah,
What do you punch him in the eye? Stab him? Okay. Yeah, let me try that.
I'm sure that's worked by accident where people have been like, and the shark's like, that's a human.
Well, they wouldn't have just created it out of nowhere, I guess, but it's been done. It's happened.
I guess it's the only thing you can do.
Nothing's 100%. Didn't work for me. But,
well, so we're 1 for 1 in our 30 so far. Was there a point when he dragged you underwater where you're like, oh, this is it?
Oh, yeah.
What a way to go, though.
So it lasted about 8 to 10 seconds. The footage is on YouTube. You can watch it. They were recording it as part of the exercise, and then a TV show in Australia ended up getting that footage from the Navy. So it's on YouTube. You can actually watch it. But at about 5 or 6 seconds in, I'm thinking, this is it. I'm not going home today. I'm going to die right now.
Because you could have easily bled out.
Yeah. Well, it missed my femoral artery by a couple of millimeters. If it even nicked that artery, I would have bled out and died before I was even out of the water.
All the time,
yeah. And as it was, when the lads in the safety boat got to me and took me to the wharf, by the time they got me to the wharf, or the pier, you guys call it, I think, the boat was an inch deep in my blood. My chief, who took control of the situation, already thought that I was dead. Wow. So one of the guys had to stick his hand inside my leg and pinch closed an artery with his fingers to keep me alive.
First of all, good thing that you were with guys who kind of knew what to do in that situation to an extent, at least.
Yeah, really.
But you guys, you guys don't go over what happens if one of the guys in your unit or platoon are attacked by a shark, right?
Well,
that's not protocol.
We do a dive brief before we get in the water for every dive. We didn't that day because it wasn't actually diving. We were just surface swimming. But there's a section in the dive brief that says DMA, which stands for Dangerous Marine Animals. And the only thing it says is, if you encounter DMA, exercise caution.
Thanks, Dr. No Help.
Hey, awesome. Thanks for that pamphlet.
I love when they say that shit. They say the thing about a bear. If you hear a bear, chances are it is a bear. It's not just some dog. So exercise caution. Hey.
So the thing that really saved my life was the military training of how to stay calm under pressure. You know, I popped to the surface with my hand gone, my hamstring missing. And at that point, I didn't know what damage was done to my leg, but I started swimming for the safety boat. And when I took my arm out of the water, I could see my hand was gone. And my medical training instantly kicked in and said, okay, keep that wound above your heart. Plus, from watching Shark Week, I knew that sharks can detect one drop of blood in 10,000 leagues of ocean or whatever. So I didn't want the blood going into the water, so I raised my arm above my heart and started swimming for the safety boat. My medical training told me that if I looked at the injury in my leg and it was horrific, then I could go into shock and I'd die. So I didn't even bother looking at it. I just focused on talking to my friends, staying calm. So all that stuff came into play.
So in other words, you take your attention off your injury and put it somewhere else.
As much as you can,
That's amazing.
That would be your phone down here. We've only done 200 shows. He's been in show business for 20 years. Great story, though, man.
I've lost my place now. We're going to have to start again.
Exactly. But that's interesting when you deal with shock. I've heard that before from combat veterans and people who are trained that way. So in Vietnam, what they found was a lot of the Viet Cong would not go into shock even though they have horrific injuries because they were putting their attention somewhere else. A lot of Americans would get shot. And because, in many ways, just our culture, holy shit, I've been shot, they would focus on that and go into shock.
I think yours is more of, holy shit, I need to survive and get to the boat.
Yeah, well,
you don't have time.
I didn't even think I was going to make it to the boat. I didn't think I was going to get out of the water at all. And even when I was swimming to the boat with one hand and one leg, I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it. This shark's going to come back any second. It's going to grab me by the other leg, take me underwater, and I'm going to die. Because I'm running out of air, I'm running out of blood, I'm running out of energy. I'm swimming with one hand because I can't operate my leg. And I'm just thinking, this is it. I'm stuffed. I'm going to go down right now.
Yeah.
But you got to stay calm and you focus on one thing at a time. Then it was get to the boat. And then it was, as soon as I got into the boat, I was so relieved at not being eaten anymore. I relaxed and passed out. And my buddy sprang on top of me and thought he knew that I was going into cardiac arrest. So he stimulated my heart.
Oh, so you were going into cardiac arrest?
Yeah, I passed out. Well, that's what he thought anyway. I don't know. I don't know how to tell whether my heart's stopping or not. But he jumped on top of me and started pummeling me in the chest to stimulate my heart or wake me back up. And that worked.
Damn.
But then I wake up and I look over and my hand's gone, mangled and bitten off by a shark. And I look up and my mate Tomo's beating the shit out of me.